Everybody, welcome to Wednesday afternoon's Movement Matters session with me, Alison, Exercise Coordinator at Keighley Healthy Living. So our Movement Matters session is part of our rethinking programme at Keighley Healthy Living. So if you live in the Craven or Bradford area and you'd like to be referred into our rethinking pain service, please contact your GP or another medical provider and they can make that referral from you. So this afternoon we are going to be using keeping ourselves moving using household items. So behind me, I've got a chair, I've got a bag of flour, 2 tins of tomatoes, I have an exercise block, but you can use a cushion if you don't have an exercise block, and I also have an exercise band. If you don't have an exercise band, you can use just a scarf. So the exercises that we're going to do this afternoon, or the movement we're going to do this afternoon, is using those household items. So before we start today's workout, check the area around you is free from any hazards. There's nothing to trip or fall over, nothing sharp to knock into. Before you participate this afternoon, you need to be feeling fit and well, free from any medical conditions, illness or injury. So we're not using any music today. We're just going to go for a normal plain workout. So we'll do a little warm-up, we'll do a standing warm-up, and then we'll move on to using some of the items. Okay, so if you find yourself a nice space, and we'll just take a nice gentle shoulder shrug. So we're just going to shoulder shrug with the right shoulder, lifting and lowering, back tall, tummy in nice and tight. And then we're going to move over to the other side, lifting and lowering, shoulders back, tummy in nice and tight. And then we're just going to circle those shoulders round, keeping those hips facing forwards and keeping that back nice and tall. And then we're going to just take a little heel and toe with the right leg. Heel into floor, tip of the toe to the floor, warming up through the ankle joint. And then over to the other side. Heel into floor, tip of the toe to the floor, just warming up through the ankle joint. Let's take another shrug with the right shoulder, lifting and lowering. And then over to the other side, just a nice gentle lift and lower. And then circling. Back to those heel and toes, heel into floor, tip of the toe to the floor. I'm doing a little bicep curl at the same time, so you can do that with me as well. And then let's take that over to the other side, heel into floor, tip of the toe to the floor. And then we're just going to gently march those feet wide and march them narrow. Take them wide and take them narrow. 2 more of those. And rest there. Okay, let's lift the knee lift up for 2, for 3, and 4. And the other side lift 2, 3, and 4. Don't forget to like the page or comment in the box if you're joining me this afternoon. Always good to hear from you, and I'm always happy as always to answer any questions you may have. So we're just going to take a little hamstring curl, heel to bottom. And then over to the other side, heel to bottom, body weight slightly forwards. And then we're just going to march those feet wide and march them narrow. Take them wide and take them narrow. 2 more. And last one. Let's just take those hips round to the right now, circling round. And then over to the other side. And back the other way. And round again. Take a little pelvic squeeze forwards, so just tilt that pelvis forwards, squeeze and release, squeeze and release. 1 more, and then we're just going to turn it the waist to the right and push forward. Hips stay facing forwards, just the upper part of the body moving. Back nice and tall. One more each side. And then we're going to take it to a side bend. So taking it over and lifting up. Over and lifting up. Keep those hips facing forwards. And back nice and tall. March it wide and march it narrow. Nice big strong moves. Wide and narrow. And wide and narrow. 2 more. and relax it there. Back to those knee lifts, just lifting up at the front. If you need to hold onto the chair, do. And then over to the other side, knee lift. Right leg knee lift. Left leg knee lift. And then we're just going to do those hamstring curls again. And then over to the other side. Hopefully by now we're feeling a little bit warmer and we'll be ready to do some working out. So we're going to start with the chair, holding onto the back of the chair. All my equipment's on there as well, so it's quite weighted down. My feet are parallel, my body weight is forward, so my body weight is going into the chair, but I'm still keeping my back nice and flat. I'm going to bend down, pushing my bottom backwards, and then I'm going to lift up and squeeze my pelvis together and pushing forwards. So we're getting two exercises here. We're working the bottom and the thighs into the hamstrings, and then we're actually getting a little pelvic floor tilt, working the pelvic floor on the way up. So ladies, the pelvic floor is fantastic for incontinence. It helps with the incontinence, and any pelvic floor exercises will help with that. Gentlemen, the pelvic floor, working the pelvic floor is really good for prostate recovery. So it's vital we do these. So we're going to squat down, working the bottom, and then working the pelvic floor on the way up. So we're going to go down and squeeze up, squeezing the inner thighs together and pressing the pelvic floor forwards. So down and squeeze up, down and squeeze up. So we're putting our body weight forwards into the chair, pressing onto that chair so we don't put any strain on our knees as we do that. Down and lift up. These exercises are also good for strengthening the legs and also good for balance. So it's as if you're pushing your bottom back and squeezing up. Back and squeezing up. So not only can we do our seated exercises sitting on the chair, we can actually use the chair as a piece of equipment in our workout. Down and press up, down and press up, down and press up. While we're here, we're going to work the hamstrings. So I'm going to take the leg back and I'm just going to curl the heel in towards the bottom. We have just worked the hamstrings a little bit doing the squat. I'm just going to work it again separately because that's good for our brain messages. 2 more. Last one, and relax it there. Over to the other side, taking that foot back, heel to bottom, hips facing forwards, back tall, tummy in nice and tight. Four, 3, 2, 1, and relax it there. Toes are pointing forward, and we're going to rise up onto the toes and take the heels down. Rise up onto the toes and take the heels down. Hips stay facing forwards, back tall, tummy in nice and tight. So just working through the backs of the calves. Again, putting our fingertips onto the chair to help us. And then we're going to work through the backs of the calves. So we're just going to pulse down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Let's just give those calves a little stretch here. So front knee bent, back leg straight, give that back calf a nice stretch through. And then we're just going to do the same on the other side. And release it there. Okay. Holding on to our chair still, we're going to take hold of the band. Okay, we're going to make our feet into like a tripod shape. So one foot is forwards and the other foot's back, and it's a tripod with the chair because obviously we're using the chair with equipment. We're going to place the band, or if you haven't got a band, you can use a scarf onto the chair. And we're going to reach over and we're going to pull back. Over and pull back. So we're working through the chest. Hips are facing forwards. And the pelvic floor and our legs need to stay supported, so they have to stay engaged. So working the chest and working the upper arm as we do that and pull across. But again, we're keeping that pelvic floor engaged as we're in the same position. 2 more here. And last one. I'm going to move my chair over to the other side now so I can do the other side. So my hand's going on the chair. I've got the tripod shape again. 1 foot forward, the other foot behind, and we're going to take it over and pull it back. Over and pull it back. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax it there. Okay, we're going to do some little bits of work now on the outer arms. So I'm going to place the band around my foot. Now this exercise could be done standing or it can be done seated. I'm going to do it standing today. Again, if you haven't got a band, you can use a scarf, or if you haven't got that, old pair of tights would work. Okay, so we're standing on the band and we're going to lift the elbows out to the side. So I'm just lifting and lowering. The thicker your band, the harder it will be. Obviously, if you're using a scarf or a pair of tights, you might not have quite as much give in them, so it might be a little bit harder. But we're working the tops of the arms. So these exercises help in daily life, but if you're carrying lots of shopping bags or if you've got a lawnmower to start, elbows out to side, and we're just lifting and lowering. 2 more. And last one, and relax it there. You felt that one in your arms, definitely. It doesn't take you long to feel that one at all. I'm going to swap over to the other leg, but I'm going to do a slightly different exercise. So we're going to do a bicep curl, which we did in our warm-up. So we're going to take the arms up towards the shoulders and back down again. So the palms are facing the shoulders and it's nice and controlled. I've got my elbows in towards the body and it's controlled. My knees are slightly soft to just keep me stable. As I do that, curling in and curling down. 2 more. And last one. Okay. Now you may remember at the beginning when I said we needed some bits of household items, that we needed some tins. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take hold of the tins. Okay, if you have hand weights at home, you can use those. You might want to use something heavier than the tins. So I've got basically 2 tins of tomatoes, 400 grams each, and so I'm adding 400 grams of weight to the side. If you don't feel like you want to use weights, you can just do this exercise without. So we're going to just take the hands down by the sides, and we're going to then lift them out to the side with the palms facing down. So I'm going to take it in and rise it down. So I'm working the tops of the arms and the deltoids. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Palms facing down, not forgetting to breathe. And we're not lifting the arms too high. They're just going up in line with the shoulders and then back down again. And my feet are facing forwards. Now, whilst you're doing this exercise, because we're doing a lot of work on the arms, we're going to just wiggle the toes as well while you're stood there. So you won't be able to see it because my toes are wiggling inside my trainers, just to keep the blood circulating around the body as we work the arms. 2 more here. And then last one. Relax. Did it make a difference adding the tins of beans in there? Okay, the other thing I've got is a bag of flour. So my bag of flour weighs 1.5 kilograms. So anything I do with the flour is adding 1.5 kilograms to the weight. So without the flour, we're going to lift up and pull down, up and pull down. As we do that, we're going to bend the knees so that we're working the lower body as well, and we're getting a little bit of movement in that lower body. So I'm going to take hold of the bag of flour, and then I can do the same exercise with that. So I'm lifting and pulling down, lifting and pulling down. Lift, pull down. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest there. Okay, you can do a few more repetitions if you want to do the more repetitions with those. Okay, I'm going to go back to the tins of beans now, or tins of tomatoes now, and I'm just going to take one out to the side. I'm going to hold one down by the side. So we're just going to take it out and bring it down. Head looking forwards, back nice and tall, lifting out to the side and back in again. Nice gentle movements. And then I'm going to take it out for 2 and back in for 2. So we're going out for 2 and back in for 2. Out for 2 and back in for 2. 2 more like this. Last one, and rest it there. You'll have felt that on the top of your arm at this side. We're going to do the same on the other side now. So taking it out and bring it in. Out and bring in. Keep those hips facing forward. Keep that back nice and tall as we do our 4 slow ones. So we're going to go out for 2 and back in for 2. Out for 2, back in for 2. Hips stay facing forwards and back tall. And last one. And relax it there. Okay, we're going to work the backs of the arms now. So we're going to do some work with the triceps. So keep taking the tomatoes or the tin in one hand. We're just going to take the arm back and then bring it up again. So the hardest bit of the exercise is when the arm is actually back and straight, and then it's relaxing here. So we're going to breathe out and breathe in. Take it back and curl it up. Back and curl it up. So it's when it's extended where we're getting the hard work. Back and curl up. Four, 3, 2, 1, and relax. So to make it harder, you can slow the exercise down, or you can use something a little bit heavier. Okay, over to the other side, and I'm just going to take it back and bring it up. So the hardest bit of the exercise is when the arm's extended, the hips are forwards, the back's nice and tall. Take it back and curl it up. Nice and controlled. Back and curl up. Let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and last one, we rest it there. Okay, let's put those tins to one side, and then we're going to take hold of the flour again, okay? So I'm going to just lift up and pull down. Up, pull down. Up, pull down. Making sure those knees are moving to keep the heart pumping blood through the body. Up and pull down, up and pull down. 2 more. And last one, rest there. Okay, I'll put my flour to one side now. And then we're going to take hold of the band. Placing the band underneath the knee. And so we're going to start this time with the bicep curls. And we're just going to put the band underneath the foot, and then we're going to curl in and bring it down. So elbows in towards the body, working through, head looking forwards, back toward tummy nice and tight, and you really feel this in the arms through those biceps. Two more. And last one, switching over to the other side now. Placing the foot over the top of the band on the other leg, and we're taking the elbows out to the side. So working at the top of the arms. Head looking forwards. Back toward tummy nice and tight. Elbows out to the side. Let's do 4 more like this. 3, 2, 1, and rest there. Let's place the band to one side. I'm going to hold onto my chair, toes pointing forwards, we're going to do a second set of squats. So remember, the body weight's going forwards into the chair. We're pushing the bottom back and then pulling up, squeezing through that pelvic floor. So I'm going to push it down and lift it up. Push it back, lift it up. Push it back and lifting up. Keeping that back nice and tall. Keeping that tummy in nice and tight. Squeezing through that bottom. Pressing forwards. Down, lift up. Down, lift up. 4 more. Squeezing up as you come up. 3, 2, and last one, resting it there. Okay, we've done lots of work on the upper body, but not so much on the legs. So I'm going to do, next couple of exercises are going to be on the legs. So the first one we're going to do is working through the outer thigh. So I'm just going to take the leg out to the side and bring it back in. Out to side and bring it back in, leading with my heel. So the standing legs doing the weight bearing. And I'm sure if you've joined me on a Wednesday afternoon before, you'll have done this exercise with me before, and you know it doesn't take long for the standing leg to start aching and the moving leg to feel like it's doing the work at the thighs. We're going to go out for 2 and in for 2. Out for 2, back in for 2, out for 2, back in for 2, out for 2, back in for 2, and last one, relax it there. I'm going to use the inside leg now, and I'm just going to lift it up with the instep. So we're just lifting in front, working through these inner thighs. And then we're going to pulse it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. I'm going to swap my chair back to the other side. And let's do the same thing on the other side. So we're just taking it out and bringing it in. Leading with that heel. Back tall, tummy in tight, holding onto that chair, using it as a support. Standing leg is taking the weight bearing, and we're working down the outer the thighs of the other leg and leading from the heel. 2 more like this, and we're going to slow it down for 4. So I'm going out for 2, back in for 2, out for 2, back in for 2. Twice more like this. And last one, relax it there. All okay? Let's just give those legs a little shake, and then we'll do the inner thigh on this side too. So the instep's going forwards. We're taking that inside leg and we're just lifting it and squeezing. And then we're going to pulse for 8. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Okay, after working all those arms and legs, it's time for a sit down, isn't it? There's one piece of equipment we haven't yet used, the block. So we're going to use the block. Okay, the block, or if you haven't got a block, a cushion. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure our sitting position is correct. So from the sitting position, your feet should be flat on the floor, back tall, tummy in tight. You might just need to slide your body weight with your body forwards on the chair to make sure you've got a nice comfortable position. I'm going to take that block. I'm going to hold it in front of me. It's going to be my anchor. I can hold it this way, or I can hold it this way, or whatever cushion you've got. And the first thing we're going to do is turn to the side and the center. Side and center. So I'm just turning corner to corner, no further. And if you've got brittle bones, then any exercise that you're doing needs to turn no further than the corner. But this particular exercise is pretty effective just going from corner to corner anyway. No further than corner to corner. Now you can stay with it like that if you want, or if you want to make it a little bit harder, you can push the block away, and we'll go corner to corner. And you should be feeling this down the sides of your body, just there. This is where I need 2 pair of hands, one to show the exercise and one to point to the body part that is actually working. Okay, side to side. And one more each side. And let's rest there. Okay, we're taking the block in front now. I'm going to push the block away and push the body away and then we're going to pull it up, so pulling up through that pelvic floor again. So taking it back and lifting up, back and lifting up, breathing out, breathing in. So this one's working through the tummies, also working the lower back area as well. I know people that have joined some of the in-person classes have found that this one's quite beneficial for lower back pain. But you work at your own pace. If you know, if it aggravates your back pain, then you can miss this exercise out, or just take it a little bit slower. Keep that hips facing forward. It's quite normal to feel a little bit of discomfort when you're exercising, but you shouldn't be in agony. So back and lift up, back and lift up. Let's do 2 more of these. And last one, relax it there. I'm going to rest there. My arms feel like they've done enough today. We're going to squeeze on the inner thighs and squeeze onto the block, working those inner thighs. So I'm just going to squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Thinking about working that pelvic floor. Make sure you don't hold your breath. If it helps, you can count out or say squeeze and release with me. So we're going to squeeze 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's hold the cushion or the block. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remember, when I say hold, I mean hold the block or the cushion. I don't mean hold your breath. So if it helps, count out, because you can't hold your breath and count out at the same time. Let's do that again. 8 little squeezes and then holding for 8. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then this one we're going to hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Hopefully you're squeezed up inside, working through that pelvic floor. We're going to take that block in front now. Second set for those curl back. So we're going to take it back and lift it up, working through those tummy muscles. Back toward tummy in nice and tight. Back and lift up. Back and lift up. Keeping those hips facing forwards. Shoulders nice and relaxed. 2 more in this position. And last one, relax there. Holding that block in front, we're going to the corner and center, corner and center. Still keeping that back tall. Corner and center, corner and center. Nice and controlled. Okay, 1 more each side. And relax there. Push that block forwards. We're going to each corner now, so side and center, side and center. Working through the sides of the body. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax there. Well, we've had a pretty good workout there this afternoon. Definitely got us moving in a different way and using our household items to help with our movement. So what we're going to do now is stretch all the muscles that we've worked out. We're going to start off sitting down and then we're going to finish with some standing stretches. So I'm going to place the right hand between the shoulder blades and place the left hand over the top, or push from the front, and we're just going to walk through the feet as well at the same time to make sure the blood doesn't pool in our bodies as we stretch out. If you can only get your hand to there or your elbow to there, that's just fine. Take it to what position works well for you. And then let's go over to the other side. So between the shoulder blades and over, or pushing from the front. Keeping that back tall and keeping that tummy in. Moving those feet. And then we're going to take the hand to the side of the head and reach out to the side, feeling a really nice stretch through the neckline. Release it there, and we're going to take it over to the other side. That hand that's out to the side, let's bring that in front, show me the palm, hold between the joints and look over the shoulder so we're getting a lovely stretch in the upper arm. Release there and over to the other side, between and look over. Take hold of the right leg now. Bring that knee in towards your chest so we're stretching through the muscles in the bottom. Let's circle the foot round to the right. And then back to the left. Take that foot forwards. And then we're going to flex the foot. Feeling that nice stretch through the hamstring and lowering to the floor. Place your hands onto your bent leg and feel that lovely stretch. Release it there, and then with the other leg, bring the knee up, circle round. And then back the other way. Let's point those toes forwards and flex the foot. Lower the foot back down to the floor now, hands on the bent leg, and lean. Feel that lovely stretch through the hamstrings. Picking the leg up now, we're going to place the heel onto the calf, feeling the stretch through the outer thigh, just along the outer thigh there. If you feel quite happy where you've got that foot, you can just leave it there. Or if you've had any hip replacements, you just want to leave it there. If you feel that you can stretch it a little bit further, place your heel onto the knee and bring the body weight forwards. We get a stretch through the inner thigh, and then lean it forwards. We're feeling the stretch through the outer thigh too. From here, we're going to take the knee over the other leg, take the opposite hand to knee and look over the shoulder. Any brittle bones, you're just going to look to the corner. And then we're going to switch sides, same knee and elbow together. Again, just looking to the corner. Or you can look over your shoulder if you want to increase that stretch a little further. Release those arms down. Let's do the same on the other side. So we're just going to place the heel onto the calf, feeling a stretch through the outer thigh. Lift that leg up now and place it onto the thigh. If you've got a hip replacement, just leave it on your calf is fine. And then we're going to just feel that stretch in the inner thigh and on the outer thigh. Bringing that knee over the leg, opposite hand to knee or elbow to knee, and looking over the shoulder to the corner or right over the shoulder. And then we're going to place the same knee and elbow together, opening out the chest again just to the corner. Or you can take it a little bit further over the shoulder. And release there. Take both hands forward, and we're just going to push away, feeling a nice stretch through the upper back. I'm walking through my feet, and I'm going to lift the arms up, feeling a nice stretch through the tummy muscles, but keeping those feet moving. And then I'm just going to take the hands down into the small of the back and press the chest forward, feeling a nice stretch across through the front of the chest. From here, we're just going to slowly place our hands on our thighs, pull the tummy in and round your lower back. And then I'm going to take it into a standing position, bringing my head up last. Just uncurling, take the feet to the side. We're going to do a second stretch on the lower back. So our hands on the back of the thighs, pull the tummy in around the lower back. And then I'm going to turn my toe to the corner, lunge down, reach up and across the body. So I'm feeling a stretch in the inner thigh and down the side of the body. Release it there, correcting the toe forwards, opposite toe to corner, lunge down, up and over. Release it there. I'm just going to grab hold of my chair again. And holding onto the chair, I'm going to take hold of my foot. If you can't reach your foot, you can hold on to the bottom of your trousers or your heel or your sock, knees together. If you've got your scarf or your band, you can put the scarf or band around the calf and use the scarf to lift your leg up. So we're holding it there, feeling a stretch down through the front of the thigh. Hold that stretch. And then we're going to repeat the same onto the other side. So I'm going to move that over to the other side now. So taking that scarf around the calf, pulling it up, knees together. If you prefer, you can hold onto your shoelaces or hold on your heel. Either way, we're feeling that nice stretch through the front of the thigh. And release it there. Holding on to the back of the chair now, bending both knees slightly, we're going to take the right leg back. Push the heels into the floor, give it a really good stretch. And then taking the heel off the floor, feeling that stretch through the hip flexor. Bring the back leg in so the toe is opposite the heel and sit down on the back calf. Just give the back toe, front toe a little tap. Feeling that stretch in the back calf. And then that leg you're tapping, that's the one you're now going to bring back. Front knee bent, back leg straight, heels press into the floor, toes pointing forwards. Once again, we lift the heel off the floor, feeling that stretch through that hip flexor just there. And then we're going to bring that back leg in so the toe is opposite the heel, sit down on the back calf and just tap the front toes. Well done, everyone. We worked hard there this afternoon, didn't we? Well done. We're going to take a nice big reach up, big deep breath and release it down. One more time. Reach it up and release it down. Give yourselves a hands a shake and your legs a shake and give yourself a well-deserved clap. Thank you very much once again for joining me this afternoon. It's been lovely to work out with you. Hopefully we've used some movement there to get you up and moving about, and we've helped with your long-term pain if you're one of those people that suffer in long-term pain. Once again, do like the page or comment in the box if you've been joining me this afternoon, just to let me know that you're there. And again, if you are in the Craven and Bradford area, how you'd like to be signed up to our Rethinking Pain service, please contact your GP. Good to see you. Hope to see you again next Wednesday afternoon. Take care. See you soon. Bye.